Welcome to The Blind. It is episode 10 of season 2. It is actually our 1 year, I don't know if you call it anniversary or birthday, but we're going to call it a birthday. It's a 1 year birthday for The Blind. So, Cam,
Woo!
roll that intro and we're going to get started with season 2, episode 10 with our man, Devlin Hodges. Man, welcome to season 2, episode 10. My man, Devlin Hodges here with us, man.
What's
How you
going
doing today,
on?
buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got done packing up, get ready to go to Canada after Film Fest this weekend. So duck season's about to be here for me. So I'm doing good. I don't feel the best. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little sick right now.
You
Yesterday I
sound
felt
a little snotty.
man, I felt terrible yesterday, but a little steroid shot, a little Z pack gets you going. So
Man, everybody we get on this show seems to be sick. Maybe it's just us. When we book somebody to come on here, all of a sudden they're sick. They
hey,
always
it's
show up, but they're sick.
hey, I showed up, so there we go.
That's right. Well, man, we've been working, together to try to get you on here for a while, and
Yep.
we appreciate you, taking the time because we know you're busy, and we're going to dive into all of that stuff here in just a minute. But as we mentioned just a minute ago, this is the 12-month mark, the 1 year
Woo!
anniversary for our podcast. And I was talking with Phil Norris, who was actually our very first guest on the very first episode. And it's very,
Phil.
very fitting that we started our podcast with Shin. And then we've got Devlin on here, who's associated with Shin as well. And Shin's just been really good to us. And before we get started tonight, we really just want to show some love to our sponsors. Of course, Shin Gear, Lyle Real Estate, Apex Ammunition, Alpha Innovation, Stratton Seed, Perfect Limit Outdoors, and Dirty Duck Coffee. And, not only just naming those guys and gals, but man, I know Devlin knows because I think you had a podcast, or maybe you still even do it, but you've been on other podcasts. You know about all this, and not just for a podcast, but anything you do. Man, sponsors are a huge deal, and I just want to take the time to make sure that those guys took a chance on us, which we're nothing big. We're
Yeah,
way we're way
before we
away from
even
being the biggest podcast out there.
we didn't even have a podcast though whenever we pitched it.
Yeah, and we pitched
Yeah.
it to those original 7, and they all said, "Look, we know you don't have anything, but we believe in what you're gonna do, and we believe in what you're wanting to do and your vision." And I just want to make sure before we get off into too much stuff that we thank them for 1 full year of believing in us, even though we're into season 2 and they all stuck around. But they're not just sponsors for us, man. They're partners. They're friends. We've gotten to know all of them personally, and they've been really, really good to us, and so we appreciate them. And not just that, but they hold up their end of the deal. I mean, whatever they tell us they're going to do, they do it, and so we appreciate them because we're just a little old nobody, and for them to take time out of their day to make sure that they show us some love as well, that's a big deal. But man, enough with that. We have got a star with us tonight.
I don't know about all that.
And so, Devlin, why don't let's just start off and you tell everybody just a little bit of background on you, where you're from, how old you are, where you live now. Let's just
Yeah.
kind of start there, a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, so Devlin Hodges, originally from a little bit north of Birmingham, Alabama. Um, Grew up playing football. Didn't start duck hunting until I was about 9 years old. Immediately got into duck calling contest, and ended up winning the junior world in sorry, in 2009 when I was 13. So I tell you about, I started. I always get my dates mixed up. Started duck hunting about 2007, when I was about 10 years old or whatever. Grew up playing football. Football was my first love. Ended up going to play college at Sanford University there in Birmingham. Went and played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then went to the LA Rams for a little bit, CFL. And I always told people, once I found duck hunting, I think my love kind of switched a little bit. I always tell people I'm a duck hunter who played football, not a football player who duck hunts. So, that's a little bit about me. I live in Arkansas now, back and forth between Arkansas and Nashville because my girlfriend, and selling real estate now. Still, trying to be involved with Shin Gear, working on a few other little things that be going on next year. I'm really excited about. So, a lot to look forward to. I'm 27 years old. I ain't got it all figured out quite yet, but I'd say so far I'm doing all right.
I'd say that you've got a little bit figured out, man. You're doing some pretty cool stuff, and you've done some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
And Garrett and I played sports growing up. Of course, neither one of I.
We're not going to try to
neither,
put ourselves
neither
on
one
your
of us.
level.
Yeah, we were. But you said something that really stuck with me, and not many people. I sometimes I feel like I'm a duck hunter that just sells insurance on the side. I mean
Yeah, yeah.
that's who I am. If you ask me
Yep.
who I am, an insurance agent's going to be the last thing I tell you. I
No,
mean,
absolutely.
don't get me wrong. I love working for the company I do, and I have a great career, but man, there's
I
just
pro-
something about those ducks, man.
Well, I know you don't sit at the office. You sit at the office thinking about ducking. I know you're not in the woods thinking about insurance. So,
Well,
Exactly.
I try not to. That I have to
yeah,
put my phone
yeah,
on
yeah,
silent. As long as I can
yeah.
keep my phone on silent and in my pocket, then you're absolutely right. But
And
Yeah.
Devlin, your nickname's not football, right? What's your nickname?
My nickname's Duck,
That's right.
and
That's
let,
right.
let me tell you how I got that real quick
tell us that
because
backstory. Yeah.
it's funny because I meet some people that I'm really good friends with and became friends with in the duck hunting world, and they don't call me Duck. They're like, "Dude, I ain't calling you Duck," and I'm like, look, just know when I first got the nickname, I hated it. I mean, I love it now because it kind of is who I am, and that's what everyone knows me as. But the nickname came my sophomore, I guess technically my redshirt freshman year in college. My second year in college, I was battling for the starting quarterback position against a senior in college. Um, the coach, he started calling me Duck, and between me and him at the time, it was because I was the best quarterback he had ever coached, and he had a quarterback in the past that his nickname was Duck because he walked like a duck, and he was the best quarterback. I kind of took his place, and he was like, "You're a duck caller, you're a duck hunter, so I'm gonna start calling you Duck." And there was one scrimmage I remember, like in the scrimmage, I think I threw for like 4 or 5 touchdowns, and like the strength coach and the long snapper at the time just started saying, it's duck season," because like I was kind of on track to become the guy, and it kind of stuck with me then. And at first, I'm like, damn, I'm a quarterback. My nickname's Duck. Like, that's terrible. Um, but then, man, it stuck with me. And then when I got to Pittsburgh, I mean, it was a big thing. People bringing duck calls to the stadium and whatnot. So that's how the nickname, came about. And when someone does call me Devlin, I like really know them, or they're like from my hometown or from the past, or if I don't know them, I'm like, wait, do I really know you? So yeah, Duck. I got a couple of people that call me Eggs now. Um, I say a couple of people, all the guys at Shin Gear, Carter, Oliver, Byron
Yeah.
Womack, Dylan Farrell. Those guys call me Eggs. So we all got a little different little nickname. But it's funny because I've gave everyone, especially all the people that come to my duck camp, like I always give them an animal name. My dad is like, we call him the Swan. We call Byron Womack the Badger. We call Carter Oliver the Mule. So we got all kinds of nicknames, man. Like I don't call anyone by their real name. It's always a nickname.
Well, we like to nickname people in our duck hunting world with
I got this damn fly flying around right now.
we like to name them after snacks. And so,
Okay, yeah.
Garrett's nickname is Puff. And he loves those Cheeto Puffs. But
Gotcha.
you know, Little Debbie Christmas Tree was just too long of a nickname for us to give him, so we had to go with just Puff. So,
There you
but
go.
I think that'd be more appropriate for you, but I thought you were gonna say Spoonie Killer. That was gonna be the.
well, that's that, AKA the Spoonie Killer.
There we go.
But well, look, man, we've got a lot to dive off into with you. I mean, we
Yeah.
we we want to talk about Shin. We want to talk about football. We want to talk about all the things that are coming up, things that you've already done, things that are coming up in the future. So we want to dive off into that. But like we told you from the beginning, we've got some commercials that we like to show for our
Yep.
sponsors to show some love. So let's take that first commercial break. Cam's going to throw 2 commercials at us tonight to make sure we get everybody in. So on each commercial break, we'll run 2. So we'll be out, about a minute or something. But make sure you stay tuned right here, because when we come back, we're fixing to dive off into shin gear with Devlin Duck Hodges. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Blind. We appreciate you for tuning in. Whether you're watching live on Facebook or you're listening to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure you go over to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and make sure you like and follow us. And if you are listening on the podcast version of this show, make sure you hit the little bell and follow, and then also give us a 5-star rating. We just started in season 2 putting them out as a podcast. And man, we're growing. We got a lot more to do, but we are growing, and that's what helps us grow is people, sharing the word around and telling people about it, and also giving us those likes and everything. But before we get back with Devlin, man, I told Kyle Jones with Apex that I was going to talk about these shells tonight. I'm going to show these real quick. If you have not shot the waterfowl blend that Apex has out, man, these things are killer. And I'll just tell a little story, and Devlin, you may have something to add in on this too. But I've always shot still shot just from growing up duck hunting, and I've never really, until I guess Black Cloud came out, thought that maybe there was a shell out there that was better than the others. But man, last year was the first time when we shot this waterfowl blend. And when I tell you, you can actually tell a difference, And man,
Huge difference.
Yeah, if you're in the market for shells, in the waterfowl blend, they've got 12 and 20 gauge shotgun shells available, different blends in both of the gauges. So make sure you go over to apexammunition.com and check them out. Get your shotgun shells, because not only is today the Blind's birthday, but we are officially 1 month away from opening of duck season here in the state of Arkansas. So it's getting close. You better
Let's
get
go.
your shells ordered.
Let's
So,
go.
but look, enough about all of that. Our special guest tonight, Devlin Hodges. Should we call you Duck or should we call you Devlin?
Man, you can mix it up.
You said only people that know you call you
We better
Devlin.
go with Duck. We better go with Duck.
Whatever y'all want to do. Yeah.
As many times as I've talked to Devlin, I feel like we're on a first name basis, even though we're just now getting him on the show. But man, either way, Devlin, we appreciate you for being here. And Fred Hill, that's one thing about being live. You can ask questions on here. So do you know Fred Hill? I saw you smile a little bit.
I know Fred.
Okay.
Go ahead, ask away,
Fred. Yeah. Go ahead and send your question, and we'll pop it up there on the screen. But we got my man Devlin Hodges here with us. So Devlin, tell us a little bit about how you got associated with Shin. How did all that start?
Yeah. Man, I've always kind of been involved with some kind of outdoor company ever since I started kind of really ever since I won the duck climb contest as a kid and whatnot, and just building relationships. And I got a phone call one day. I guess this was, I don't know, about 2.5, 3 years ago, kind of right when Chin kind of just kind of like right before they started launched.
Yeah, yeah,
Got called from Spencer Halford because he was kind of helping at the time, and he said, "Hey, look, here's the deal. There's this new waterfowl company coming out. First year it's going to be pretty much just waiters. Um, these are the guys behind it. Would you be interested in being a part of it?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Absolutely, man. I'm all about it." And that's kind of how it started. And then it was about 2 years ago, or not last NWTF, but the NWTF before.
mm-hmm.
Um, was Shin's first time at NWTF, and I told him, "Hey, look, I just want to come um, help. I want to be there, come help out." And some of the guys that worked for Shin told me that the owners were really impressed. I just came and helped out. I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for anything. I said, "I just want to come by," and that's when it really just kind of took off. And I started going to like Ducks Unlimited Expo with him. I kind of started doing the road show stuff, and just really being involved any chance I get. Then the Shin Cribs kind of came out, and man, me and all those guys just kind of fit together, and that's kind of how it started. And sometimes they'll ask for my input on samples and stuff that products that they're working on in the future, and
Yeah.
try to you know ask me, what I think of this or what I think of this hat. And I just try to help be involved and help out in any way because I personally think that it really is the best waiter on the market, the best gear, the best people. One thing, I'm about to go to Canada next week with the Shin guys, and some of the owners are coming, and we're all going to freelance. I mean, these guys are down to earth, true duck hunters. I mean, I'm not knocking on anybody else, but I don't know of many other duck hunting companies where the owners are going to go freelance in Canada.
Yeah.
Uh, and just like I said, good people, good customer service to be a part of, and man, it's really been awesome to kind of watch them grow and be a small part of it, and it's some really awesome things coming in the future, and I'm just really excited to have that small little piece of it.
Well, people that listen to our podcast, they've heard this story a million times, but Garrett and I finally, we don't bash any brands or anything. We don't bash any other podcasts or anything like that. But I mean, I'll name brands on here when I'm talking about something. There's
Yeah,
nothing against them, but we had wore banded waders for years, and just like everybody, I mean, they came out
yeah,
with the first breathable wader. We were wearing them. We were tired of them, and Garrett and I we were dead set. We were going to buy some Sika waders,
Yeah.
and he and I for a few years there, we'd go to Max Prairie Wings about a month before season, and we go
Mm-hmm.
up there and we spend all day. And whether we bought a bunch of stuff or not, we looked at everything. We touched everything. We looked at everything, and we
Tried on
spent
every pair of waders they had. That's what
we
I did. I went and I was like, I'm trying on every pair of waders they got, and I'm gonna get me a pair today.
and
And then we
so
went,
we go
and we
ahead.
ended up. So we ended up going to the Ole Miss game, and
yeah,
so we had to drive through Memphis. And we'd heard about this company. We've been watching it on social media, Shin Gear, and we've been seeing all about the wader. And I was like, man, I just can't pull the trigger on any of these waders until I see those Shin Gear waders. I just hate
yeah,
to spend the money before I see those. So Brian was like, man, I wish those guys would let us in. I know it's the weekend. I wish they'd let us come see this. And so he messaged whoever was behind the scenes on Instagram, and they were like, yeah, it's not going to work out. It's a Saturday. We're all watching the Ole Miss game too. So then Sunday, he's like, man, I still like to see those waiters. We're in Memphis. And so he messaged him. He's like, what should I do? I was like, listen, the worst they can do is they can say no. They say no, we don't get to see them, whatever. So he messaged them to get on Instagram. Somebody, we don't know who, responds
It was
and
Phil.
says, yeah, says, we'll come meet y'all down there. It's Sunday. As soon as I get out of church, I'll come down there and meet y'all. Like he said, it was Field. So we end up in the shop trying on waders, talking for how long did we stay in there? Two
We were there
hours.
for a couple hours, and yeah,
Yeah.
and Garrett failed to mention that when we went to Max, we went in and tried on the Sika waders, and we were set. We're gonna buy a pair, and then we got to think. We were like, man, we at least need to go look at these new. Hell, we didn't even know what they were called. These Shanae waders or Cheen or what everybody.
Chinny,
Yeah,
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 whatever, yeah.
yeah. So we were like, we at least ought to give it a shot. And
Yeah.
so, like I said, I messaged on Instagram and whoever answered. But then that Sunday, Field answered and he was like, man, while y'all are up here, I want you to see them. He brought us in. He sat down. He didn't even try to really sell us. He just
Yeah.
showed us, hey, man, whatever y'all want to do, if y'all want to order some next week or whatever. And Garrett and I looked at each other and we were like,
We
we
leaving with
want, we
them.
want, we want to take them home today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in.
I love that. I love that.
And
It's
Field gave me his number. I mean, what kind of guy does that? He probably regrets it now. But
yeah. Yeah.
and then we end up hitting him up about this podcast, and we meet everybody else, and I mean, it's just snowballed into something. But I mean,
Yeah.
man, that's just. But we were in. Once
Yeah.
we saw it and we felt them and we wore them and
Yeah.
we hadn't even put them in water yet, and we were
Yeah.
in. We were take
Yeah.
my money, take my
Yeah.
money.
It's funny you say that because I was, in a way, before I got that call from Spencer, I was kind of in the same boat. I was getting tired of the breathables, and I told myself, I said, I'm gonna get me a pair of Sitka. I was gonna get solids because I'm a Mossy Oak guy. I was like, I'll get
Yeah,
solids.
yeah,
That'll go with my Mossy Oak stuff. But I said I can't do this other stuff anymore. And then I got the call from Spencer, and he kind of told me, he said, look, this is gonna be up there, quality wise with Sitka. Because I mean, Gore-Tex is some good stuff. I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and say
Right.
it's not. Um, so yeah, I was like, man, I'm all in. I didn't even see him at first, and then so I kind of took a chance, without seeing him. And then when I got him, I said, oh my gosh, I said, these are perfect. These are
It's
great.
great. Great
Once you put
choice.
your hands on them, it's like a no brainer.
Yeah, and like for anybody that's watching and that listens to this, I mean, I think they completely understand not wanting to spend the money without seeing them, and I think that's why we've done all these road shows and gone to all these events because
Yeah.
when you put your foot in them and feel the boot and get your hands on them, it's hard to walk away without buying a pair. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Well,
that's yeah that's I was gonna
and
say
and
that's my
and
story for
Garrett,
Shin.
Garrett said once you put your hands on them, you're in. But literally, once you zip them up and you click that belt, like once you start moving in them, then you're really in. Like I mean,
Absolutely.
when you put them on, it's unlike anything you've ever worn before. I mean,
Yeah.
we went from a pair banded to those, and it's night and day. I mean, it's
And
not
Mm-hmm.
even close. People
Shin
that are
is the
skeptical about it, they just have to
yeah.
understand it's not even close.
Shin is the first pair of non-insulated waders I've ever worn, and I was like, man, there's no way I'm not wearing non-insulated. And then when I put them on, I was like, dude, how many days did I hunt Arkansas with a Lowe's 45 and I don't need non-insulated? Or how many times have I had to walk in a mile to go hunt, and then like you can just layer up yourself? I said, dude, there's nothing better,
That's
nothing
the thing.
better.
You just have to educate people. You can
Yeah,
layer, and you can do the same thing
yeah,
without having an insulated wader.
And I was
absolutely,
scared to death. I was
yeah,
one of those people that said I'll never buy an
yeah,
uninsulated pair. Why would I ever do that? Like
yeah.
that doesn't make any sense to me.
But now it makes all the
Until
sense
I
in the world.
did, and it
Yeah,
doesn't make
yeah,
sense to buy a insulated pair. I
yeah,
mean, it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
doesn't. But
absolutely.
but look, on talking about Shein, the film festival is coming up this weekend. I know
This
you're going to be
Saturday.
there.
Yeah.
Sadly, Garrett and I have been planning since they announced that they were going to do this. I
I
know
Boo.
know.
we have been planning to go. We were going to do a podcast there. Man, we had all these plans,
Yeah.
and Shin was going to be so accommodating to us.
Yeah.
And man, it just so happened that some other things got scheduled at a really terrible time, and it's some things that we can't. Well,
We
we
can't
don't we
avoid.
don't we don't need to miss. So we're
Yeah.
going to sit this one out. And but you're going. So why don't you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what's going on this weekend and stuff?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up real quick, pull up the itinerary just so I get make sure I got everything. But yeah, Film Fest is this week. Man, it's gonna be awesome. And we've been trying to figure out how many people's gonna come, and we got a bunch of tables sold, but they ain't no telling how many people's actually going to show up. But if you're in the Memphis area on Saturday and want to come, you need to, especially if you're a duck hunter. We're gonna have Alabama Tennessee game on the big screen. We're gonna have some live music with a buddy of mine, Sean Stimley, a couple other guys like Jacob Davis, um, and then you know it's the film fest. So we got a bunch of different films that have not been seen yet. And everyone there is going to get to vote on what film they think is the best or which film they think is the best. The winner of that film is going to win $10,000. And not only that, we got a bunch of live auction items. I mean, they're giving away a white oaks duck hunt, which has never been done before. I believe is it 4 or 6 people? Let me look real quick, make sure I got that right. Yeah, 6 people, auction to go hunt white oaks, and I've been there a time or two. Um, Really is a special place. Uh,
Boo! Now I'm gonna boo you.
I know, right? Boo
uh,
hoo.
Well,
I've been lucky to go there. I've been lucky to go there. It is a special place, and Jeff Farmer, who is one of the owners of Shin, he's the person that went in there, developed it,
yeah,
and made it what it is. And that's one of the giveaways they're doing. A Jefferson Reserve bottle of bourbon from the Mossy Oak Tree, which is a really cool, unique bottle. What other options? They're doing the 2023 Shotgun of the Year, uh, a catered meal for 12 from Chef John Paul. So he can come to your duck camp, come to your house, do it
I'd
for
like to
12
win that.
people. Adam Campbell is giving away a black lab.
Yeah, a
Um,
puppy. Yeah,
they're doing a 4-person, 2-night stay at the Mossy Oak Cottage and a couple of rounds of golf. Which, man, if you love to golf and you never played at Mossy Oak course, it is you need to go. It's awesome. And then my personal favorite is they're doing a Lady Wilson VIP package. Signed guitar and then 4 tickets, 4 meet and greets.
How'd
And
y'all
then
line that up? How'd
I
y'all
don't know.
line that up?
Shin's got a good connection. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
so it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have some raffle tickets, have some good food, and I think the timing of it's awesome. Kind of right here
yeah.
before November. Almost like a really cool kind of duck hunters get together before duck season. It's gonna be a good time, and I'm really looking forward to it. It starts at 2 o'clock, so people can still go bow hunt in the morning if they want, or go to the little kids football games, and then even if you can't make it by 2, roll in at 4 or 5 o'clock, because I mean it goes on until 10 o'clock, and it's gonna be a good time.
Well,
And let me
go
say
ahead.
this real quick,
Go ahead.
just because us three on here, because I have no clue, but y'all want to take a guess on what the White Oaks Duck Hunt auction's for? Because I heard that a duck hunt for the Coca Cola Woods in Memphis at the Ducks Unlimited banquet went for around 20,000, I think,
Oh,
15,
I wasn't.
20.
I wasn't even gonna go that high. I was gonna go 10,
That's
but
that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean,
That's what you were gonna be at 10?
yeah,
me,
he was
Yeah.
gonna throw. He was
Yeah.
gonna be 10.
$10. I mean, it's worth more than that, but I couldn't pay more than that.
So
I think
I
it may. I think it may go for 25.
25.
There's going to be some people with some money there.
There's
There's
gonna
going
be
to be
some
some
people.
people there.
Yeah, and whoever's there with some money, I want to meet you. So
I'm gonna say 30. I'm gonna go 30. Shin's bringing it.
I don't know. I don't. I always take the over, so I'm gonna go with like 40.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay. All right. All
Yeah,
right. We've got it live. We've got it recorded. So we'll
yeah.
come back and
There
we'll
we
come
go.
back and revisit this. Now you talked about football, and I told when we had it wasn't Field. Who'd we have on here a few episodes ago? Uh, my
Jeff
mind's drawing
Jones,
a blank. No, just a couple episodes ago.
Roddy, Dustin Roddy.
From Shin.
Oh,
Dylan.
Dylan,
Dylan.
Hell, I couldn't
Dylan
remember who
Farrell.
it was. Dylan, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry.
Dylan Farrell.
Yeah. So we had Dylan on here, and we were talking about, the football game that'll be shown. And
Yeah,
we asked him, we were like, look, if we come, just please, please, please make sure you don't show the Arkansas game. And he said, no, don't worry about that. We're going to show the Alabama,
yeah.
Tennessee. So it's a
We're
great
trying.
weekend for that.
We're trying to show some good football games. Not.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with you there. We're diehard Razorback fans, but we're not going to
It's
argue there.
been a rough year.
Which, who
But
knows? The Alabama Tennessee game could be a disappointment this year. So
well, and but I do want to ask you that you're originally from Alabama. You
Yeah.
live, where'd you say, Tennessee now or Arkansas?
I'm back and forth between the
Okay.
two, but
So
I
so
went.
who are you pulling for?
Man, I'm in a tough spot because I went to the Tennessee game last weekend for the first time and loved it. I mean, the
Hey, the atmosphere.
atmosphere.
Oh, they've killed it. They've killed it over the last couple of years with the
I
atmosphere.
I'm not going to say who I'm pulling for because I'm not unsure, but I do think Alabama wins. I don't think they win by a lot. I'm going to say it's going to be like a, I don't know. I can see it being like a 27-21 kind of ball game or something
They
like
Yeah.
better play
that.
better than they played against Arkansas last week, or they're going to get beat.
Well, Tennessee didn't play any better against
Is
A&M,
that
so
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think Arkansas. I think Alabama wins,
Arkansas
but
is
I
going to
think
win that game.
yeah, Arkansas will win.
who does Arkansas got this weekend? Are they off?
Mississippi
Or
State. So we may actually be able to beat a junior high team this week. So
they may.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll find a way to screw it up somehow.
Yeah.
Uh, but but yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard for me to root against Nick Saban. I'm a Saban fan.
Oh yeah,
I respect him. I don't care about his teams. I'm just a Nick Saban fan. I can't
yeah,
tell you many people on his team. I can't even tell you who his coordinators are now.
yeah,
But I'm a big because that's what I did before I was in insurance. I was a high school football and baseball coach, and
yeah,
man, I just got a lot of respect for Nick Saban. And but you know, man, Tennessee's come up. I mean, they've become popular, and the
yeah,
atmosphere has helped that. And then of course, people that are writing songs about Tennessee, and
yeah, yeah.
old
I mean,
Wallen's making them famous, and
yeah,
just stuff
and
like that.
I've always said that like teams like you know Tennessee. I mean, even any SEC team except Vandy, but definitely teams like Arkansas, Tennessee, Ole Miss, even teams like Texas. When those teams are good, I think it's good for college football. I think it makes
Yeah,
college football better because I mean,
For sure.
you remember in like 2007 to 2012, right around there. I mean, Alabama was good, Texas was good, Arkansas was okay, but they had back in there they had Darren McFadden and all that.
yeah,
Tennessee kind of sucked then, but when those teams are good, it just makes college football better. And I definitely think college football is definitely on a more even playing field now. I think a lot of people are like, man, the SEC's down this year, and it's like I don't think that they're down. I think just across the board, the whole NIL stuff has made it a
Close the
little bit.
gap.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
I mean, you got I think Washington may be the best team in the country right now. And I couldn't even tell you what conference they're in. I forgot. Uh, Jesse,
I
98
couldn't tell you.
champions. Um,
wasn't that
but
was that Peyton Manning back then? Was
I
that
believe
Manning back then? Yeah.
believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was.
But yeah, man. Hey, the gosh, I mean, it's still it's just killing me that we're not going to be there because we have wanted so bad to be there. But man, the Shin Film Festival, if you're even semi close or you want to just take a road trip, man, go over. It's free admission. You just have to
Yeah,
bring your lawn chair. You don't get any seating, or you can still get a ticket for some seating. And I'm sure if you got a pocket full of money, they still probably have a table or two that they'll sell you. And
hey,
they did
what?
open up that seating where you just buy one chair.
Yeah, no. If you want to buy a table and we ain't got any, we'll go down to Lowe's and go buy one. Don't worry.
Yeah, they'll make it work. It's a big place. It can hold a lot of people, and I've got a
Yeah,
feeling that it's gonna be big.
yeah,
I mean, I think
yeah.
it's gonna be.
I hope
Devlin,
so,
do you
man.
know if, since we're not able to be there now, do you know if any of those films and things will be released after the film festival?
Oh, that's a great question. That I would assume that they probably will be. Um, but then again, I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't even thought about asking Dylan that. So I don't know. I
I was
couldn't
just interested.
couldn't
I'd probably
answer.
go to YouTube and look for it after the film
Yeah,
festival.
Yeah, yeah. I bet they'll put it out somewhere, but who knows? But well, look, Devlin. Hey, we're gonna take another quick break. We're gonna get a
yeah.
couple commercials in, give everybody a little chance to get them a sip of water or beer or what everybody's sipping on, and then we're going to come back with more from Devlin Hodges, and we're going to talk some football when we come back, right here on the 1 year anniversary of the Blind. a few little duck calls there, quacking away. And speaking of ducks, we've got Duck Hodges here with us this evening on episode 10 of season 2 of The Blind. And Devlin, we appreciate you, buddy, for taking time out to chat with us.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
man, not only are you involved with Shin, and there's some other things that maybe have gotten your name out there that maybe we'll get to a little bit later that I know a lot of people are wanting to know about. But maybe the biggest thing that people know you from is football. So you
Yeah.
hit a little bit on your college days.
Yep.
Maybe if somebody wasn't tuned in at the beginning, kind of take us back to college. How many years you were there, or a starter
Yeah.
or whatnot, and then tell us about. Well, let's just talk about college first, and then I've got some questions that'll kind of lead us into there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I played college at Sanford University there in Birmingham, Alabama, Division One FCS. So for Arkansas, it'd be like UCA, Central
Yeah,
Arkansas,
yeah.
or if you're in Louisiana, it'd be like Southeastern Louisiana, or if you're in Tennessee, it'd be the Chattanooga Mocs, and was a 4-year starter there in college. Had some great teammates around me, great coaches,
Now,
and
where'd you go to high school at?
oh, dude, little small school in Alabama. Don't even need to worry about it. Ain't no one even.
Hoover.
Nah. I wouldn't have would have went to those over the mountain schools, I like to
Yeah.
call them.
Are you old enough to remember two-a-days?
Oh yeah, no
Oh,
doubt,
dude, that was legit. Like that was.
absolutely.
I thought that was the best show I had ever seen. That was
Yep. Two
awesome.
days. It was a hit. It was a
Garrett, do you even
hit.
know what I'm talking
I don't
about?
think I ever watched it.
Oh my gosh, I went back and looked it up on
It was on the
YouTube a little bit.
MTV, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it was. Oh, I couldn't wait for the next episode every
Yep.
week.
Yep. So it was starter, 4 years, quarterback. Broke Steve McNair's record for the all-time passing leader in FCS, and it might stick around for a while with all this new transfer portals and stuff. And
Yeah.
so yeah,
So, so you,
that's
you weren't you weren't just a quarterback. I mean, you put up some pretty impressive numbers. I mean, so
yeah. I punted a couple times too in college and whatnot. So yeah, I
did you ever get
wasn't
to kick
just
a field goal?
nah. I
No,
didn't get
no drop kick.
heck no.
Who was that did that? Was that Doug Flutie? Who did that?
I think it
Who,
was.
who,
I think
I
it
think
was
it was
Doug
Doug
Flutie.
Flutie.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it
drop
was.
kick. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But so tell us about how you went to the NFL. I mean,
Yeah.
how was that whole process there?
So after college was done, after we done playing, started training for a pro day and all that stuff, and didn't get drafted. Got a phone call as soon as the draft was over from a couple teams. It's like, hey, we want you to come to our rookie mini camp and kind of come on like a little tryout kind of deal.
Mhm.
And I went to two different ones. I went to the New York Giants the week before. I went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and went to the Giants. Kind of knew that, like, in a way, like, hey, look, they just drafted a first round quarterback this year. Like, I'm going more just to kind of get an idea of what this is like for when I go to Pittsburgh. Had a really good camp or whatever, little mini camp, rookie camp at Giants. Went to Pittsburgh the next day. I mean, not the next day, next weekend. Did really, really good, balled out. And they told me on Sunday when they break, they're like, hey, we're going to sign you to the team, or sign you to, like, be with us all summer, come to fall camp, try to make the final roster. And I think my first question was, that means I'm not going home today? And they said, yeah. I was like, damn, I gotta get some clothes shipped up here. So, stayed there all summer, went to fall camp, had a really, really good fall camp. Actually got cut week one, or the final roster got cut. They had some trades and stuff happening, brought me back a week later on a practice squad. Then that's when Big Ben got hurt for the year. They elevated me to the 53-man roster. Wasn't 3 games later, Mason Rudolph got knocked out. I had to go in and play.
I had to go in and play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember watching, like, I was like, oh, damn, he just got knocked out. Then I was like,
Oh, that's me.
oh, shit, I got to go in.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, going into the huddle, and I was like, I was kind of tight with all the receivers and whatnot. I remember just looking at them like, y'all know what time it is. And you know,
It's duck season.
right, that's right. Well, that's it all started over again. And then the next week is when my first start in the NFL against the Chargers, which is pretty cool because Philip Rivers, quarterback, he's a North Alabama guy. I'm a North Alabama guy. We won the game. Had a bye week the next week, so we went back to Pittsburgh. 2 days later, I'm flying to Canada to go duck hunting. I mean, it was like one of the best weeks of my life right there. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into the NFL was kind of that whole transition.
So tell us, take somebody like Garrett and I that don't we definitely don't know how it feels to run on to much less a college field with a packed stadium, but running into a not just any NFL team. It wasn't like you were jogging on the field for the Browns. I mean,
Yeah,
you were going out with the Pittsburgh Steelers, arguably maybe the biggest, most popular, other than maybe the Cowboys, and I would probably compare the two, but
yeah,
fan
yeah.
bases in the NFL. I mean, it had to be an awesome place to play. But take us to
It
that moment when you run onto the field, like what you see, what you hear. I mean, it's got to be completely different than standing on the sideline watching Ben Roethlisberger play.
Yeah, and before I get into that, you hit it on the head. I mean, dude, the Steelers and the Cowboys, I would say by far the best two, the most two, have the most fans.
Yeah,
And
passionate, very passionate fan
and
bases.
Mm-hmm.
people are always like, man, the Steeler fans travel so well, and it's not that they travel; they're already there. I mean, they're just everywhere. So I couldn't think of a better. Is Brian froze for you, Garrett?
He's back.
All right, we're
Yeah, he
back.
froze for a second.
Um, I couldn't think of a better team for me to, kind of be a part of my story. The Steelers. They're a steel city. I mean, just kind of really blue collar, hardworking kind of city, and running out of the tunnel. My first start at Heinz Field. Um, Man, it was crazy. I know that they said my name. I didn't even hear them say my name because it was so loud. And then, like, what was really cool is in the fourth quarter, like we're beating the Browns and like the whole stadium's chanting duck. They had to ban duck calls that weekend because they knew people were bringing duck calls. They had to ban them. Um, so man, it was cool because I never felt like I played a road game because like when we played in LA, when we played in Arizona, I mean there was more Steeler fans there than there was the teams we were playing. Um, and man, it's cool. Like I feel like I didn't play there by I didn't play there long at all, but my thing, it's crazy to think that like I still go down as one of a lot of people's favorite Steelers. And people like still tweet me all the time and hit me up, and still like somehow talk about me. And then when it came out that when Lainey wore my jersey in the stadium when she played up there, everyone was like, "This is the greatest thing ever." And even my buddy Robbie just said he's still waiting on his jersey. I think he's been waiting for like 2 years, so I need to get it to him. But man, I couldn't think of a more perfect team for me than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they will always have a special place in my heart. They let me live out my dream. That's the team that I still cheer for. I still try to keep up with, and I'm always going to be a Steeler for life, no doubt.
So how is Ben Roethlisberger? 'Cause
Oh,
I saw
dude,
you posted a picture with him. You saw him
yeah,
somewhere. I don't know if it was at a concert or where, but
yeah. No, dude,
what kind
Ben's
of
the
guy is
man.
he?
Dude, he's the man. And me and Ben got along so well. It's
He
cause
seems like a really down to earth type guy.
yeah, I mean, dude, all me and Ben talked about was hunting for the most part. You know, he's a he hasn't duck hunted. I think he's been once or twice. I think he's gonna try to come this year with me. But he loves like big game, loves deer hunting, turkey hunting. He's just a good dude, man. He helped me. He went out his way to help me, and it's cool that he still kind of keeps a relationship with me. Because I mean, he played for Steelers for I don't know what 20,000 years. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
amount the amount of backup quarterbacks that's came through, I think it means a lot to me, anyways. That he still reaches out. We still talk. I know he's got a podcast that he wants me to hop on. Kind of Pittsburgh Steelers podcast, and man, to me, just a good dude. I enjoyed having been around, and was cool to kind of be there for his final season.
Yeah. That's
Do you ever
awesome.
just sit back and think, in the history of quarterbacks, like the amount of guys that get to go do what you do and start in an NFL game, like that percentage is so small.
Yeah, I mean, even just like I think the percent of high school guys that go play in college is like less than 6%,
Hmm.
and then like I think high school kids that go, or maybe even college kids that go make it to NFL is like less than 1%. And like I said, I didn't play for the longest, but like no one can ever take away that I started in the NFL,
For
won
the
games
Steelers.
for the Steelers, won
Yeah.
games. So, man, I take a lot of pride in it. It was a lot of hard work for sure, and no, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to you know to do that. And I'll use it to my advantage if I need to. Like when we go to Canada next week, I'm taking a couple little Duck Hodges Steeler cards because if we need to get permission for some land, I'll throw them out. I'll pull that card out if it's for duck hunting.
Can I get a signed card?
I
Can
got you.
I
Yeah,
can I get a signed card?
I
That's
I
what I
got you.
need.
I
I won't
got
even
you.
ask for a jersey because I don't want to wait 2 years on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, get my man Robbie his jersey. He's still waiting. But
I got.
man, somebody wants to know about your golf game. Before we take our next little break, tell us about this golf game.
There you go. Asking again. I was a professional football player, not a professional golfer. But man, golf is just it's crazy. I've shot really well before and gone the next day and not done anything different. I thought and shot really bad. But I love golf, and I I I do a lot of golf. More for business stuff than I do for
Yeah.
pleasure. But it's got room for improvement. But that's all right.
It kind of
I'm
lets
only
you maintain that competitive edge a little bit.
well, yeah, and, that's why I think I
And you can
enjoy.
drink beer.
That's right. I think that's why I enjoy it because I am so competitive, and golf is the one sport that people can play the rest of their life. Like you
Yeah.
can play. I can't. I could go play some flag football. I'm not doing that, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's got room for improvement though. All I
That's
know
why
is
I
that
hate.
just know the guy that asked that question. The last time we played together, I did beat him.
For the record,
Yeah,
I may be the only insurance agent in the U.S.
that doesn't play.
that is terrible. I'm so bad, and people ask me all the time, "Why don't you play?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you do that you're terrible at?" Often, I mean, you
Yeah,
just normally you don't do things you're just really bad at over and over and over again. I
Especially when
mean,
you're a competitive person and you
oh
really,
yeah,
really suck.
it
It's
drives me
just,
nuts.
yeah.
well, I mean, first golf. I would say 95% of people that play golf suck compared to the other 5%. Like there's not many people that
Yeah,
are. I mean, look how many people are on the tour, and then you look at if you Google how many people play golf in the United States, and then look at how many people are professional golf, or play college. It's unbelievable how low the percentage is. So it's a
yeah,
hard sport.
yeah.
You
It
don't
is.
you don't have to be athletic too. I found that
No,
out
you
because
don't. You don't.
there's guys that are better than me at golf. I'm like, if he's that good, I can easily be that
Yeah,
good, but
yeah.
not the case.
Well, we've got Devlin Hodges with us, man, and we are talking about a little bit of everything. And so we've got some more stuff that we need to get into before we get off here. But we're going to take another short break, and when we come back, we're going to have our final segment of the night. We are going to talk about some real estate. We're going to talk about what you got coming up, and of course, we have to throw it in there. We're going to talk a little country music. So when we come back, we'll have more from the Duck right here on the Blind. Welcome back to episode 10 of season 2, right here on The Blind. The anniversary, 1 year down. It seems like it's been about 15, but it's only been
Yeah, I'd like
12
to say it's
months.
gone by fast, but it really hasn't.
It has not. But man, who more fitting to have as a guest on our 1 year anniversary than Devlin Hodges? And man, we sure do appreciate you taking the time. And if you're watching
Absolutely.
on Facebook, make sure you share this. Everybody
I
over here in the
share. I shared
comment,
it.
I know you did, and I did too, and I'm sure Garrett did. But
I did.
we see all these people over here in the comment section. We don't know most of them. Most of them are probably people that know you, Devlin, and so share it out. That's so many more people that can see this and go like us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and then also make sure you go and listen to our podcast version on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's just a little bit different than this Facebook version. But look, we got Devlin Hodges here with us, and we were talking a little bit about everything. And so before we get completely off of duck hunting, let's hit on Shin Cribs just a little bit.
Yeah.
I know we mentioned it a minute ago, but let's talk just a little bit more about that before we get off away from hunting.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you haven't got a chance to check it out, I think we've released them all. There may be one or two more left, but man, it was really kind of fun project that I was a part of last year, and we went to basically a couple different kind of hunting camps, whether it be a 5-star or 1-star. Um, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just meant y'all know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean. The
Right.
top of the line duck camps to duck
Right.
camps that to them are top of the line, but not.
Somebody
yeah,
else is cooking, or you're cooking for yourself.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And we got to show kind of what that camp looks like. The people involved in that camp, what they do, where they hunt, and kind of based it off the old MTV cribs back in the
yeah.
day that used to do with celebrities. And we're gonna do it again this year, and looking forward to it. We got a few lined up. Trying to figure out a few more, and really just trying to really show some cool, unique duck hunting camps because there's a lot of people that you could say a lot of people's favorite part about duck hunting is being at the camp and the camaraderie, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people put a lot of money into that just as much as they do anything else. So we just want to show that, and looking forward to doing that again this year. So if you haven't got a chance, go check them out. They're all on Shin's YouTube page, and pretty cool project we did.
Sweet. Well, hey, Southwest Arkansas is not duck capital, so we don't get a whole lot of love down here. But we've got some really good places down here, and you ought to come down to the club that Garrett and I are in. Man, we got a pretty nice place down there.
Hey, we'll talk to Dylan, see if we can't get it worked
Yeah,
out.
come on down, man, and let's get on the cribs. Garrett probably doesn't know what MTV Cribs is because
I know what cribs
he
is.
didn't know what two a days
I
was.
saw cribs.
Yeah,
His parents didn't let
yeah,
him watch MTV growing up.
probably
He
a
Not
prob-
good
true.
thing.
Not true.
he probably didn't get to
Probably a good
watch.
thing.
He probably didn't get to watch WWF wrestling either. He only got to watch WCW because it
I
had
never watched.
cussing.
I didn't watch either one of them.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine just texted me and said, "Nice job on the podcast." So I
Well,
just want
great,
I just want to
great,
thank him here, in public.
perfect. Well, that's great. And like I said, man, if you get time, you're driving somewhere or whatnot. Seriously, go and listen to on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's the same content, but the commercials are different. It's going to sound completely different. It's put together. Our guy behind the scenes, Cam, who's running everything, making everything pop up on the screen, he puts it together. Usually takes him about an hour or so after we end this live show on Facebook, and then it'll be out on the podcast site. So everybody, make sure you go and listen to it. Honestly, it's my favorite. I like that version of it the best. But
Yeah, Cam's way more talented than we are at putting all this together, the Spotify version and this. So we don't throw him enough love, but Cam does an awesome job.
if you
Shout out to
can't
Cam.
tell, yeah, if you can't tell, Devlin was the only one that could see it, but Garrett couldn't even get his stuff plugged into his computer before we started. So we're definitely not editing much.
Man, you're hating on me a lot tonight. You're really giving it to
it's,
me
it's
tonight.
just
love.
love. It's just
That's
love,
right.
man.
It's
It's
all
just
good.
love. But well, look, let's talk about your real estate
Yeah,
profession. Yeah, I mean you're in the real estate game as well.
yeah. I know I'm here in the law real estate studio.
That's
But
all right, man. Well, tonight's all
yeah,
about you.
for
We
sure,
look.
for
We
sure.
love Lyle Real Estate the most. Nothing against whoever you work for, but
Oh
tonight
yeah,
we want to tell your story.
yeah, man. So I had a buddy one time was like, "Man, you ever thought about getting into real estate?" I said, "Like, what do you mean, like selling real estate or what?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, all the people you know." He's like, "You ought to get into it."
Yeah,
So I've been in it almost, man. I'm not gonna lie, this could be my year anniversary too today. I don't know. It's that close to it. Been about a year, and really enjoyed it. Knowing some, finding some hunt land, a farm land, or a hunting cabin. And I'm doing real estate right now in Arkansas, working on getting my license in Tennessee as well. Um, and man, really enjoyed it. Met some people through it that still talk to. Um, Done some really cool, unique deals, and working on a few more. And there's a lot of good agents out there, and I think a lot of people respect that I'm a I've duck hunted my whole life, and I think people do know like I basically what I'm saying is I know what to look for if someone
yeah.
tells me, hey, this is what I want. Whether it be a timber, a rice field, or whatever. There's a lot that goes into it than just a rice field in Arkansas.
Well,
Or
you want to buy something, especially hunting land, because
yeah,
man, everybody's trying to sell it, and a lot of it's
yeah,
not good. A lot of it's not good property,
yeah,
and they're
yeah,
slapping a price tag on it and a title that it's duck land in Arkansas or wherever it
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
might be,
yeah,
and they're completely scamming people.
yeah,
And but that's why you want to buy hunting land from somebody who hunts and knows what they're talking about.
yeah, absolutely. And there's some great agents in the state that I've been involved with. I haven't had any deals yet with the Lyle people, but they've been around. I've heard nothing but good things from
They're
them.
gangsters, man. When you see them, one of them will probably punch you in the face. They're just gangsters.
Oh, I met them, so I don't. They ain't gangsters,
They're
but
as far
They're a long ways from
they're as
gangsters.
yeah,
far away from that as you could get, man. They're
yeah.
the nicest people in the world.
Yeah, but man, it's been great, and is real estate something I'm going to do the rest of my life? That's full time. I don't know. I'm always going to have it in my back pocket. I'm always going to work on some deals. But man, I really have enjoyed it. It's really cool because I get to kind of work from wherever.
Hmm.
Um, I'm always on my phone on Onyx or Maps, anyways, just looking, trying to find. It kind of all started because I would always find, go on Onyx, find a block of timber, and write them a letter and be like, "Hey, can I hunt this?" Knowing that like probably 9,000 out of 9,001 letters, they're gonna say no. But if I get one yes, I'll be fired up. And
Yeah.
Unless you throw that Steelers card in there, that might help you out a little bit.
hey, I gotta keep my secrets to myself now a little
Yeah.
bit. But it it's been cool. I've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it. But yeah, I enjoy
One
real
of the
estate.
things that I've enjoyed hearing from all of our guests is all these people that are so passionate about duck hunting. It's like you find a way to weave it into your life, and you
Yeah,
find a way to almost like I'm gonna make a living doing something that I really enjoy.
yeah, absolutely. I think real estate and obviously what I sell, it intertwines with duck hunt so much because I've sold a bunch of like cabins that people are using for duck
Hmm.
hunting, or sold duck hunting land, or sold some land that people getting developed, and it's been cool. It really has. I've enjoyed it.
Well, Devlin, I guess the time has come. We got to talk a little country music. We told you we
I
wouldn't
don't know why y'all trying to talk to me about country. I ain't no
we
singer or
wouldn't
anything.
we wouldn't harp on it, too much or
Yeah,
whatnot. But of course, everybody wants to know. I mean, and we're happy for you. I mean, look,
I'm happy. I'm happy for myself.
I
I'm
bet you
happy.
are.
if
I'm
I
happy
can't
for her though. She's got the catch.
if I can't date somebody like that, at least somebody that I know does. I mean, hey, I'm all for you, brother. More power to you. And
Only
but
problem is I don't know if you're her biggest boy fan. It might be my little boy.
That's
He's 4
that's all
years old.
right.
He knows every word.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I
he
love it.
loves it.
I
I
just
love it.
want to know, can we send you and her a blind hat and get y'all to take a picture in it?
I can't make. I'll take a picture.
He said,
I can't,
ah.
I can't make no promises with her though.
Well, I'm gonna send you two of them anyways. If
All
it
right.
doesn't happen, we're not gonna. I mean, I get it, but I am gonna send you two of them. We
All
just
right.
got some pretty good hats. We
Heck
got
yeah.
some of those lost hats in and had some
Awesome.
patches on them, and so they're good hats. And
Dude, that guy's taking
but
over.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, so without getting into too much of it, I mean,
Yeah.
how and I don't want you to tell your backstory and get into all y'all's personal business and everything because I know so much of it is out there already. But
Yeah.
I mean, how did that even kind of come about? I mean, where'd y'all kind of meet at without
Yeah.
giving too much
Just
info?
man, just some mutual friends. I've been coming to Nashville for a while. So to kind of sum it up, some mutual friends. This was, I mean, in February we'll be together for 3 years, and I just asked her out to dinner one night, and here we are.
Yeah,
Y'all
y'all
were
were there
together before
before
it
she really
really
hit it.
it
Yeah,
really
yeah,
it really made headline.
yeah. Like I said, we've been together in this February. It'll be 3 years. And it was just one of those things, and I totally respect and got it. She when we first started dating was kind of when she was slowly starting to kind of
Hmm.
skyrocket just a little bit. And she, to be honest, for a woman and for any women, but for a woman in country music, you know, it's a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? You got to really kind of prove yourself. You can't get away with as much, and she didn't want people to think that she was taking anything away from her job or whatnot. And so I remember when we first started dating, I remember going on the road with her, driving a Sprinter van, and now thank gosh she's got a bus because I ain't got to drive no more because I like to drink beer at country concerts. So yeah, that's kind of how we met, man. And dude, she's an awesome girl. Obviously, I'm still with her for a reason. It's been really cool just to watch her success. And I mean, she's one of the hardest working people I know. I mean, she works her ass off day in and day out, and everything that she gets, she deserves. And I'm obviously very, very proud of her. Uh, Big fan of her. And like all the music that y'all listen to from her, I get tired of it because I've heard it for so long
You've been
because
hearing it way before anybody else here.
yeah. So it's cool. It's cool to kind of get all the new music before anybody else. And I met a lot of great people, become a lot of good friends with some of the other artists. Like Hardy, Luke Combs. I mean, I went turkey out with Luke. Me and Hardy talk all the time. A bunch of others, and man, it's just good people. A lot of people that don't know anything about the country music world think that they show up, play songs, and then just drink and have a good time and don't do anything else. And that's not it at all. I mean, those are some of the busiest people I know.
Hmm.
If they're either on the road or if they're back in Nashville, that's when they're writing songs, doing podcasts and interviews, and you know it's crazy. I mean, Laney's playing like 180 shows this year or something just
That's
insane.
crazy.
And like,
Can you get her out in the duck hole?
so she came with me last year for the first time and loved it. And she said, I can see why you really enjoy this. And she'll come with me this year. I don't know when. Um, she'll come with me this year and whatnot. But I'll tell y'all like I tell everyone else. I don't want a girlfriend that's going to duck up with me all the time.
Amen. Amen. Look, I don't know how other people feel, but that's how I feel.
Yeah,
I married a lady. Like my wife,
yeah,
she does not want to go hunting. She does not care anything about it. Let me, she wants me to go and she's content with
yeah,
that. She doesn't care. I mean, and no problem, people if that's the way they choose, but I just don't personally want that. Like
yeah,
that's man time to me.
yeah.
Just like
Absolutely.
I don't want to go to Target, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
regardless of the
Yeah,
situation,
I
I
spent
don't want to
way too
go.
much time
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Yeah,
but
but it's been cool because I've learned I've always been a big country music fan. Way before I met her, and it's just been really cool to like learn really kind of all about it and how it works. And
will she watch this?
I know she's doing a show right now, so I know she's not watching right
I
now,
got
but
you. I got
but
you.
I'm sure she'll listen to it, on the bus or something one day when to
Just tell her to
travel.
get on Facebook and share it, and that's all we
Yeah.
ask. That's all we ask. It's not a big
Hey,
task. It's
if
just
we don't
one.
shoot our shot, then what are
It's
we
That's
doing?
right.
it's one, but
Hey,
Hey.
hey, it's just like selling insurance. If you don't ask, you're probably not gonna make the sale.
all they can say is no.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
That's
That's
All
right.
they can say is
We
no.
don't have any playing cards to send, or rookie cards or anything like that. But
Yeah.
we do have an inside connection with her sitting right here in the middle. So
There you
You're
go.
you're
could
our
put in-
ace in the hole.
if you could
What a
put in a
relief.
little good word and say, look, these guys, all they ask is that you just hit the share button. If you just hit that, we're good. We're
There we
good.
go. Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
but realistically, it's a breath of fresh air to see someone like her. And of course, we don't know her personally,
Yeah.
but she seems very genuine.
Yeah.
The way that she performs, and as country as she is, I mean, she's one of
Yeah.
us. I mean, she's
Oh, absolutely.
we like to see people like her.
Yeah.
And we're fans of her now, but people like
Yeah.
her have success because it's real. And
Yeah.
there's so many people out there, and I don't care because nobody's going to see this and go tell Taylor Swift, but I hope she doesn't ever win another award ever. I mean, she ain't country. That ain't country. And
Yeah.
I'm a big 80s and 90s country fan.
Yeah.
I mean,
Laney gives
and
that feel.
Laney gives that vibe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
She does.
and I'm a fan, and she's, and nothing against women, because I love women and I love women in country music, but she's one of the very few women that
Yeah.
I've got songs downloaded on my phone.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and,
I mean, I think, for her, there's been so many, especially like Watermelon Moonshine. It just got done being a 3 week no more song. I couldn't tell you how many guys, especially guys in the age from 40 to 60, have told me, dude, this is one of my favorite songs I've ever listened to.
great song.
And yeah, I mean, she definitely gives that 90s feel. I mean, she's just true to herself.
Yeah.
She likes being herself and likes being outside the box, being different, doing things that are unique. And, it's paid off. I mean, we're about to go to CMA Awards November 8th, and she's nominated she's got 9 nominations. And she's even nominated for Entertainer of the Year. And
Yeah.
her tour this year was a club tour. Obviously I'm biased, but the amount of people that have come to me and say that, she's the next Dolly Parton or she's the next, I mean, obviously I believe in her, but I mean, I think I know she's going to be really bigger than a lot of country artists. And
And
man,
I
what's
think-
cool, I was going to say, what's cool too is like, you mentioned Taylor Swift. Like, I got a lot of respect for Taylor Swift at the end of the day because look at what she's selling. I mean, she's got the tours that she has and whatnot. I mean, the people that come to her tours, it's insane. I mean, there's not, you got Taylor, you got Luke Combs, you got Morgan Wallen, and you got a few other, artists in the rap game. There's not many people that can go sell out a
That's
football
right.
stadium.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So it's just really cool. And I think that's something that Lainey's going to be able to do one day. I really do.
Oh yeah.
And obviously, I know all the new music she's got coming out, and I can tell you, I mean, it's all way better than the music that's out now. And I think it's just gonna be fun just to watch her continue just to. So
Well, and like I said, I think it's because she is so genuine. Whether you're watching
Yeah.
an interview or you're watching her on stage or you're watching her sing, or hearing her
Yeah.
music, you could tell it's not fake. She
Yeah.
just seems like a regular old person. She's not putting on an act. I mean, of course, I know she has to go perform, but
yeah,
she's not being somebody that she's not. And I think that's why so many people are behind her. And
Yeah.
not only is her music great, but that's part of the
Yeah.
reason why it's so great is because it's so good because it's her.
it's
You know,
it's who
not
she is. Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
So, but well, man, look, Garrett, you got anything else? I know we're
I think
over an
we've
hour,
touched
and I
pretty
know
much all.
Devlin, he looks hungry, man.
He's
And,
probably
I
tired
know
of
he's-
us by now.
Shoot, I'm about to get on the interstate and head west and get ready for this weekend, and then go to Canada. I got to clear all this up before Canada because I think the highs like in the 30s, lows in the 20s. So if I don't get this little cold going before we leave, it's,
Well,
it's gonna
I just got
gonna
back
get
from
bad.
Canada. I just got back from Canada 3 weeks ago, and it was great.
Nice.
It was great, but it was 60 during the day and about 40 in the morning. So
Yeah.
it was pretty good. But we had a bunch of we had a
Y'all,
big, we had a big time.
y'all watch my Instagram stories and whatnot all next week because I'm gonna be posting all week because I'm gonna show everyone what's going on because
I'll
we're
be
gonna
watching
get
it from the office.
we're gonna get
That's
them
right.
pretty good.
Well, man,
Yeah,
well, I hope you go up there and kill a bunch of them, and you and the Shin guys have a great time. And Devlin, man,
Absolutely.
I appreciate you just personally, just the contact that you and I have had back and forth. I mean, you
Yep.
didn't have to answer my message. You could have moved on. I'm sure there's plenty of people that reach out to you, and but you took the time, and we linked up, and we've talked back and forth. And I know you're busy
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but you always find the time to message me back, and we chit chat and joke around a little bit, and have a good time. But we appreciate you being a friend of the blind,
Absolutely.
being on our first birthday
anniversary.
episode, our
That's
first
right. Yeah.
anniversary. We'll always remember that. And by the way, big shout out to my man Field Norris. Is he going with y'all to Canada?
He's man, it's funny, real quick, we got four of us are driving up Sunday night, and then we got like a couple different waves of other Shin guys kind of coming through. So Field is coming. Field, get ready, bring a lot of ammunition. And Field, I'll see you Saturday too.
Yeah, big
I may see tomorrow. I don't know.
big shout out to my guy Field, because to be honest with you, I mean, not only has he's turned into a great friend to me and Garrett personally, but for the show, he's the very first one that we reached out to be a part of the show as a sponsor and
Yep.
as a guest. And I mean, so a lot of this goes back to him
Yep.
and to Littlefield, because
Oh
Littlefield
yeah.
was actually a guest on our show, and we had to cut him out
Uh,
because of
Daggone.
that's a long story. But we're gonna get him back on there again. But a big shout out to them, because I know they went and played a football game tonight, and they're not listening right now, but they're gonna watch either later tonight or tomorrow. So big shout out
Awesome.
to Big Field and Littlefield, and everybody over at Shin, and to all of our sponsors for, man, a whole great year. And
Yeah, congrats on 1 year, guys.
we
Hey, it's been
appreciate you.
real. We appreciate
We
you, Devlin.
appreciate you. And
You can't
Devlin,
you can't you can't get the year 5 without year 1. So
that's right. That's right. So, man, we appreciate everybody for tuning in and listening or watching on Facebook. Make sure you share this out. Laney Wilson's going to, and 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 man, just be looking for the next episode. We'll be back next week with another episode. And like I said, go follow us on our social media. Go follow our man Devlin Hodges on social media. He is so big time. He got a blue check by his name.
yeah, please do. I need some more followers.
Yep. So go follow our man Devlin, and man, hopefully, maybe, who knows, we may hook up. You may come down and do a Cribs episode. We'd
Yeah,
love that.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, we'll stay in touch and shoot hop back on here anytime y'all need someone.
maybe if we accidentally find the time, we can get on a hunt or something together this year.
There we go.
Love to try to make that happen. But Devlin Hodges, the Duck himself, he's in the building. We're gonna let him go. We appreciate you for tuning in on season 2, episode 10. We'll see you next time right here on the Blind.